Hello and welcome back to the Honor Respect and another edition of NXT Out of 10, and the main roster is preparing for the Royal Rumble this weekend, but NXT is setting up its own premium live event with Vengeance Day coming up on February 15th. Obafemi appeared on the Grayson Waller effect, but we had a lot of high quality in-ring action on this week's show, and we kicked things off with Julia and Bayley taking on Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez in a tag match. Cora and Roxanne tried to get an early advantage but were driven out of the ring to regroup. Perez and Julia had a nice exchange of near falls once they were leg or woman in the ring and got things going. Bayley tagged in first and the Prodigy immediately tagged out to avoid dealing with her. The match lasted for a break into the next segment and we saw all four women take some risks and put in a lot of good work. Bayley was especially impressive in her role as the ring general here, but Jade and Perez made a start on the show with high risk antics. Bayley and Julia ended up scoring a win after the role model hit a flying elbow drop, and yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This was really good stuff, highlighting new stars while also giving Bayley a good rub, and you can tell that she really elevated this. So yeah, good start to the show, 7 out of 10. Waller in theory then interviewed Femi, but it felt like the main reason for this segment was to insult the champ. They said they weren't convinced he had main roster potential. Williams eventually showed up and had a confrontation with Femi, but it turned them into taking out Theory and Waller. Femi then picked up Trick and powerbombed him to end the segment standing tall. So yeah, leading to that match later down the line where we get a bit of a holding pattern maybe at Vengeance Day. After a break, a battered Williams had to take on a fresh Lee. He said he was able to continue but was immediately taken off his feet by a running dropkick. Williams took a long time to regain his composure, and once he was back up he slapped the taste out of Lee's mouth to send him flying. After another break, the former champ began to build up ahead of steam. He hit a few more big power moves on the smaller opponents before Lee's friends at ringside pulled him out of the ring. Williams ended up getting disqualified for shoving the ref so he could continue his beatdown. The match itself was a lot of fun, but yeah, the way it ended was obviously less than ideal. It obviously leads to a rematch down the line, but it feels like WWE relies on DQs to extend feuds a little too much. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxton accompanied Shotsy to the ring for the North American title match against Talon Henry, who had JC Jean and Jasmine Nix by his side. It didn't take long for Shotsy to start taking risks with moves like a top rope Hurricane Rana and a senton from the top turnbuckle to the floor. Dolan and Paxley drove the rest of Fatal Infants away after a short brawl before that left Shotsy exposed, and she ended up having her knee smashed against the ring post. Henry took the fight to her during the break and focused heavily on the injured knee. Shotsy began to make a comeback and appeared to work past the injury, but Henry regained the upper hand and used a stretch muffler submission to inflict some damage. This is a hard-hitting, high-energy match with a handful of great spots. Both competitors made sure to make each other look good while also making themselves look like tough competitors. Henry hit a finisher to take out the win and retain the title in a fun match. Kerr showed up to confront Henry as the announcers confirmed they would do battle at Vengeance Day. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I thought, it's a pretty solid match, and yeah, definitely makes sense. Building up to that's definitely the Kerr match, but I think also getting a bit of a rub on shot, so it can't hurt an up-and-coming star like Henley. Ethan Paige then took on Cedric Alexander in a singles bout. All Ego won the first encounter in December. Alexander wanted some revenge and Paige went overboard during their passing hands, so he came out of the gate hot and beat All Ego down in the corner. Paige went after Alexander's injured hand to gain a little ground, but it didn't help much until he slammed his rival's hand into the ring post. During the picture-in-picture, All Ego took control as he continued to focus on his bandaged hand. A good performance from both men, but it ended the same way as the last encounter. Paige had his hand raised and Alexander suffered another post-match beatdown. Javon Evans ran to the ring to make the save with a huge dive over the top rope, which is a cool spot. But yeah, like I say, it's pretty similar to the last one really. Gets 7 out of 10 from me, building up even Paige. But yeah, it's a shame to see Alexander go through several losses like this. Before the week's main event and saw the Women's Tag Championships being defended when Blair and Naomi put the titles on the line against Jackson and Legend. These teams have a lot in common. Blair and Jackson were both powerhouses, while Jackson and Naomi are no strangers taking big risks. This bout had a brisk pace and a lot of physicality. When it definitely had some moments where it could have been better, the vast majority of what we saw was well executed. Blair had the experience advantage, but Legend may just have outmatched her in power department. It was a fun time every time they got to interact. Legend and Jackson hit the finisher, but the EST broke up the pin at the last second. A few moments later, Naomi assisted Blair with putting Jackson down for the pin. An entertaining main event, and another great example of how women's tag division action can be awesome if WWE puts some effort into it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. A very high caliber episode of NXT with lots of big matches. In fact, I don't think there was really a match we thought this wasn't a big match in terms of the context of big stars on the brand, etc, etc. So yeah, big episode of NXT, and I thought on the most part it delivered lots of fun matches, few maybe DQ finishes that are annoying, but I thought on the most part it was a pretty good episode. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.